Hey guys, it's me. Welcome back to another episode of the one and only podcast, You Talk a Lot. So today I want to talk about romanticizing life, which I think there's so much to talk about in this area, so I'm really excited. My hair is up for the first time on this episode, and I don't know why. I just whipped it up into a bun and it's falling in this really chic way, if you get the reference. But yeah, I just got my hair cut, and they didn't style it because as you know, my hair is curly, and I thought she said that she was gonna style it curly, but then that's what she said, but then she kind of just put a couple products and put a blow dryer on it, and so obviously it was not looking that good because a blowout was $30, and I was I don't got it like that. So anyways, without further ado, so first let's talk about it in a broader sense. So romanticizing life, I feel honestly I am quite a victim to this, and I think I'm more aware of it in a lot of ways. I can recognize it. I feel I am quite emotionally aware person. So I do know when I'm doing it. But I was doing it for a really long time, especially when I moved from Toronto. I was really upset about moving here and whatever. And I really kind of made the idea of Toronto beautiful in my head, the weather and my old friends and everything, and how I used to go to a French immersion, all of that. And while it was true to an extent, it wasn't really my reality. I will say I did visit back again a year or two ago, and I definitely had much stronger connections with my family friends and stuff because we were older, and we got to kind of become friends again with the new people that we are. But before that, honestly, I was never insanely close with any of the people there that I moved from. But I feel I just had that vision in my head, and that can be really bad. I remember my mom saying you need to let that go, because then you're going to be miserable if you're always thinking that life was so much better somewhere else. You're never going to be truly happy. And I definitely do agree with that. I think that is definitely true on a lot of levels, but I think it can also be really beautiful. I feel because I do romanticize life a lot, I do see the beauty in the world a lot more than maybe people who don't. And yeah, obviously, like I said, it can get to a point where it's bad, and where it's too much, and it's become unhealthy almost. But I feel having a little romance in the world is never a problem. For example, okay, don't kill me for this, okay, but I take photos of everything I eat, and I've been doing that since I was 6. I've been doing that for years, truly. I would take it on my mom's phone. I had my own Snapchat signed in on my mom's phone, and I would take pictures of everything. And then I would, as I got a little older, I would just post it on my Snapchat story, everything I ate. And and people would talk to me about it all the time. And I think a lot of people. And then I realized I was oh, people must think I'm eating all of this every day, because sometimes it'd be if we went out for dinner, I'd just take a picture of the whole thing. But then someone had given me the idea. They were why don't you start a blog? And I love to blog. Obviously, I love sharing things and stuff. So I did start a food blog, which I mentioned last episode, called @MalsLifeInFood on Instagram. And I post a bunch of food stuff from home stuff. I need to be more active on it. It's been a while. But I did also want to start posting honest reviews of places. But it's also hard because I don't want to be harsh or whatever, but I feel it's important to be truthful at the same time. But anyways, the point of what I'm saying is I know a lot of people are oh, I hate people whose camera eats first. But it's fun to me, and I think it's like, you know, it like adds something, and it's not like I'm insane. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to want to do that, because it's not like in a way where it's like I want everything to be so social mediatized or whatever. It's just more like I like to have tangible memories of everything. And it's actually been so useful, because sometimes we'll go back to a place and we'll be like, oh my god, I loved that thing that we ate, but I can't remember what it was. And then I get to scroll back into my camera roll and then find the place that we were at and find out what we ate, and then we can reorder it. So it's actually pretty helpful. But I know a lot of people like hate on people who take pictures of food, and yeah, if it's in like a super like performative way, like I get it. But for me, it's always just been like very, just something that like I love to do. I love to take pictures of everything, you know. My camera roll is full of things. Like I'm a hoarder in real life, especially. Like I hoard everything. In my, like when I was a kid, I used to have like these like boxes under my bed, just like full of things that like I didn't even know what was in there, but I would just keep everything. And I definitely still am a hoarder. Like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not anymore. I think I definitely have downsized a bit, but honestly, like my bed, for example, right now, it has like drawers. It's like one of those that you can pull out the drawers, and each drawer is filled with stuff. So I'm not gonna like, you know, but you can't tell, which is perfect. But I just don't see the point of letting go of things, because you might need it one day. Which I know is like literally what hoarders say. But I mean, I don't think it's like gotten to an insane point. I definitely can, like I've gotten better at learning what, you know, when it's time to let things go. But, and it's also fun because then when I like reorganize things, because I'm also extremely organized. For example, we're in my closet right now, and everything okay, you might think I'm crazy, but everything is color coordinated and then subcategorized. So these are my t-shirts, and then those are like down there like my tank tops and like nicer, like cuter clothes. And then right now I have dresses, and then I keep like some like jackets and then some like full sleeve shirts in the back. And then when the weather changes, like I move and each subcategory is color coded. So yeah, but I think it's like nice, because then yeah, when I reorganize like my drawers and stuff, then I like find new things, and it's like almost like I bought new things. It's like I get to give myself a little gift, and I love gifts. I think my love language to receive is gift giving, and not in like a super like materialistic way, in just like even if it's like the smallest gift, I am always so touched by it. Like I love getting even like tiny meaningful gifts, or even not meaningful, just like getting anything. I don't know why, it's always just like made me super happy and like makes me feel like really loved. I don't know why, but I just like love getting gifts. But anyways, back onto the topic of romanticizing. So we talked about romanticizing life, which again, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. I think it's nice. You know, oh my God, I love doing this. When I'm driving, first of all, now that I can drive, windows always down, music blasting. And I think it is the most fun way to live. I love to do it, and I love to let myself feel like I'm in a movie, because who is going to stop me? Right? I love to just like listen to like whatever I want. Sometimes I'll like put my hand out of the window and just like really immerse myself into the experience. And I think it's so fun. And I get to feel like the main character who's like being free and living her life. And like, I love that. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I feel like that's so fun. And I feel like people should do that more, you know? Like, yeah, for a while I would get like kind of scared. I'd be like, oh shit, like maybe I should like lower the volume when I'm, you know, when you're like at a red light. But then I was like, no, like it's fine. Like we're all going to go in different places, not going to see these people again. Like might as well live. And it's so fun. I highly recommend. If you drive, you should totally pull your windows all the way down and listen to music. I even do it even if it's really hot, then I'll just like keep the AC on at the same time. And it's so like, I love letting my wind blow, especially when it's like wash day. Then I like fully keep the windows completely down because like I don't care about my hair. Obviously, like the first few days when I'm trying to maintain it, I won't keep it like fully down if it's like insanely windy, but I just think it's so fun. And you get to just like feel like life is beautiful, you know? And I think it's a key to being happier. And I try to do things to make myself happier because I am someone who overthinks a lot about things, and I am like constantly holding on to some stress, like subconsciously. I think that's why I have like so much trouble sleeping. But I love to do things like that. I think because I love movies and books and art and stuff, it's like just feeling like my life is one of those things just makes my life so much happier. You know what I mean? I just love to like make every day feel like it's gonna be so beautiful and like so like romantic, and you know what I mean? And I feel like that's just fun, you know? But there's that. And then I feel like also what I want to talk about was I just saw a video on this recently about like romanticizing womanhood as a girl, and that is something I relate to so heavily. I think I used to call myself a tom girl as a kid because I felt like I wasn't super girly girl or super tomboy. I feel like now that I've gotten older, I'm probably more I'm probably more of a girly girl, to be honest. Like, I don't really play sports, but I do like kickbox. I drive stick, which, I mean, I guess those aren't like guy things, but, and I don't know, I weirdly love to build things. Like, I built my entire bed, my vanity. I put up like all the construction things in my house. I don't know why I like really enjoy building things. So I guess in those aspects, which are kind of like unconventional tomboy things, I think, but I would still like say I'm a girly girl because I love fashion and art and makeup and stuff. And again, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, yeah, I love getting my nails done, I love putting on makeup, like whatever. I actually used to, as a kid, well, so this kind of like goes into this topic. As a kid, I used to watch on YouTube like all the time. I'd watch like makeup tutorials. I think that's why, like, whenever I want to like try eyeshadow or something, because I don't normally wear crazy heavy makeup on it. Like, this is my everyday makeup, which is really just like some eyeliner, and then like I spot conceal, and then I do like a lip, and that's kind of really my everyday makeup. Because I don't know, I feel like doing a full face doesn't look the best on me. I've never worn foundation on myself, but I just like, I think I'm kind of scared too. Like, I've never worn bronzer and stuff, but the thing is, I mean contour, but like I know how to put it if I want to because of the amount of videos I've like seen in my life. Like, I've consumed so much makeup media, it's insane. But anyways, as a kid, I used to watch like the transforming myself into Ursula or like Maleficent, like those makeup. And there was a specific woman, I think she was like this Asian woman, and I would watch her religiously. That and Sarah Beauty Corner. If you know, you know. I literally love Sarah Beauty Corner. She raised me, like, seriously. She was like better than 5 Minute Crafts, and I wanted to make every single thing she ever made. She's from Norway, I think, Norway or Sweden, and I like love her, truly. She's like my idol. I love her so much. And like I would watch those, like, what is it called, the 7-Up sisters, the seven super girls, I can't remember, but I would see like their videos. That's pretty much all I watch, and then like some Vine stuff like Brent Rivera or whatever. But anyways, but yeah, I've always, like, I guess, been excited to become a woman in a lot of ways. Like, for example, I used to wear my mom's high heels all the time and like practice walking in them. So by the time like I was actually able to fit into the shoes, like I already knew how to walk in heels, you know what I mean? And like I would love to try on my mom's makeup and like paint my nails and do my hair and pick out outfits and all that. And now I think I've even gone like deeper. Like, now I've learned how to sew. I got a sewing machine, and I've like been designing my own clothes, which has been like so fun, and just stuff like that. But I think like I was so excited to be a woman, and I guess I still am. It's not like I wouldn't say I'm like a woman yet. Obviously, I guess I'm like a young woman. I don't know, but it's so exciting to me like to be in my 20s, but then at the same time like I don't want to rush it, you know. I feel like that's what I've definitely been trying to like more live in the moment, and also just kind of like not be so hyper fixated on, oh, you know, in the future like I'm gonna be so much happier and like look so much better and like feel so much better or whatever, because it's like I'll miss where I am right now, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be 16 again. I'm not gonna be a teenager, a senior in high school. I'm not gonna get to experience that again. So I'm like, even if there's things that I wish I would change about myself and whatever, I'm like, I want to still live in the moment, because I see so many people being like, wow, like I didn't realize how like beautiful I was when I was like younger. What was that in if you've seen the new show One Day that came out like I think a year or two ago, she said like I was actually quite gorgeous in my 20s, though I didn't appreciate it at the time. And I think that that's so, I try to like keep that in the back of my mind, just because I'm like, you know, why I don't want to waste it. You know, I really honestly, and I know I sound like super like I have it all together, and I definitely don't. And I honestly am like saying all this advice, but like I don't really follow it on a daily basis. But I definitely want to try like harder, especially. But I think, yeah, like we should be happy with where we're at, you know, in the world, and like kind of not try and rush life, because then you miss out on where you're at. But anyways, so yeah, I used to like romanticize, you know, being a woman. Like I was so excited to get my period. That is the biggest regret of my life. Literally the worst thing in the entire world. But whatever. But I just like, I love the idea of, you know, like now like I get to fit into my mom's old clothes, and I get to like be a girl, and I get to, you know, wear makeup now and stuff like that. So I feel like I've kind of reached that part in the world where like I was so excited to be. And there's obviously a lot that, you know, I'll involve. And I think like there's so much in like divine femininity, and like just like being a woman can be so beautiful, you know. It is obviously, and like there is obviously like an insane downside. There's so many downsides of being a woman. And I like say that every time I get my period. I'm like, I literally like, why? But I think in a lot of ways it is so much more fun being a woman. Like I've thought about this all the time, and I'm like, I honestly could never be a man. Like I could never see myself being a man. Like yes, I hate getting my period and, you know, whatever, but I could never be a man, because I love everything else about being a woman, you know, in most ways. Not the way we're treated necessarily by society, but I think like, for example, celebrities, like women have so much more they can do with outfits. And like they're definitely like Wisdom K, he's obviously an example of how men actually can do a lot more dressing wise. But like women, they have so much to play around with, which is like so fun, you know, like makeup and all that is like, it's just so much fun, like accessorizing. And I love being able to do that, you know, like changing my hair if I want a bob, even though everyone tells me not to get one, but I can get a bob, I can like dye my hair, like whatever, you know. And I think that's so fun, you know. I love being a woman. But anyways, there's that. And then lastly, I want to talk about romanticizing romance, which I feel like I've kind of definitely touched on this before, and I definitely do this because I like literally only watch rom-coms. I feel, honestly, I've been watching Scream Queens recently, and it's so funny. It is like very campy, which is like fun, because I remember like I had started it with like my older friends, because like when I was like growing up, like all my friends were like a lot older, like our family friends, so I would get to watch the stuff that like honestly was not meant for me as a kid. And I remember we had like started Scream Queens, and I was like scared because I remember it being like a horror, so that's why I like haven't watched it in years. But I was like, okay, like let me do it, because I'm like been so bored, I have nothing to watch right now. And I've been watching it, I'm like, oh, it like is not really a horror, like it's just funny, like everything looks fake. But it's so funny. The humor, like the writing is really funny, you know? And it's like nice because it's kind of like older comedy, like older movies, and like a lot of the stuff is very like, I'm honestly surprised like no one canceled it because it did come out like in this era or whatever. But the jokes they made are so funny because it's like they are a little like crazy, you know what I mean? But anyways, what did I watch yesterday? Oh, I watched The Wedding Date. Such a good movie. Oh my god, guys, watch it, seriously. I watched that yesterday for the first time because I was like, yeah, I could watch a comfort movie, but I was like, let me branch out. Anyways, well, first I want to talk about, actually, I also recently watched Sterling Point, and that is like one of the few shows where both of the options are low-key good. Because in like most shows, so this is what literally baffles me. I don't even understand it. Like, for example, when I watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, it was like so obviously Team Conrad, and I'm like, I literally don't understand how people are possibly Team Jeremiah. Like, it doesn't make sense to me because in my head it's so clear who the better brother was. And yeah, like, of course, like, the narrator's biased or whatever, but like, strictly based off the perspective we get as the viewers of the show, it's like Conrad is undeniably the better choice. And it honestly, I'm like, what psychological thing is it that make people believe that the other option is even really like an option? Like, I'm like, how is this a love triangle? Because yeah, okay, maybe the main character doesn't see it because, like, I guess if this was your real life, you know, you wouldn't be seeing every aspect of it, like, because you're not a third person point of view viewer, like, you're in it. But I'm like, people who are viewing the show, I'm like, how do you possibly think that Jeremiah is the right option? Like, it really does not make sense to me in any way whatsoever. And like, I feel like it's some psychological thing. It has to be, because in so many of these shows, it's like so obviously one brother. And I think personally for me, I always go older brother, and that's always who is normally like the end game version. I think that's probably something, you know, my personal preference. But like, the older brother's just like always better, hotter, nicer, more thoughtful. And like, okay, I will say there are some exceptions. For example, Sterling Point, even though they aren't brothers, both guys were actually decent people. Like, yeah, of course I was Team Ellis because, one, look at him. Two, he was so sweet and kind, and like, it was just like obviously the right choice. Like, that's why when I was like, are you Team Rory or Team Ellis, I'm like, I didn't even know there were teams because it was like so clearly Ellis, which, and like, I just don't even understand that. But I will say I was constantly expecting Rory to like do something bad, which is like, I don't know why. I think that's just like the kind of shows that we watch nowadays. Like, I thought like he was honestly gonna like do something bad to her, or like take advantage of her, or like make them lose their island or something, you know? Like, that's immediately where my mind went. I like honestly kind of thought he was gonna kind of be like Rafe Cameron, but he ended up just being like a good guy, you know what I mean? And I also think like that Wattpad movie, like Tell Me Softly, both options, both brothers are like nice, you know. Again, obviously I picked the older one, but both brothers are nice. Even in like, okay, The Vampire Diaries, like, yeah, I'm obviously Team Damon, but like Stefan is like still a good person, you know what I mean? So actually, I guess maybe there are more shows where the both brothers are nice, but I still feel though, like in all of these shows, it's obvious that it's gonna be the older brother. In fact, I don't even think that they ever go for the younger brother. So it should be like a pattern at this point, but I just don't understand why people do like teams, because it's like, it's obvious. It's so obvious to me, and I don't understand it. But anyways, we got way sidetracked. But yeah, so I think like romanticizing romance, that is something that probably everyone, especially in this generation, does. And like, I mean, I think like definitely people in like older generations were romanticizing things, but I think it's like easier almost to do it now because of like social media and stuff. It's like, or like texting or whatever, like it's so easy to one, either like I guess lead someone on, or to like have miscommunication. Like for example, if a guy likes your story, you know what I mean? Like that could easily make people be like, oh my God, like he must like love me or whatever. But at the same time, it could be completely like, oh, he just like liked it, especially if it's like not even of you. You know what I mean? And that's like, there's so much room for miscommunication. And again, yes, I'm not really speaking from experience, but I feel like I can still have a little bit to add on this topic. So whatever. But like I will say that I think it's like I was saying, romanticizing life isn't always the worst thing in the world. I think over romanticizing your love life is really only ever gonna do more harm than good, I feel. You know what I mean? And this, yes, I am a victim to this. A lot of the times, like if I like a guy, it'll be a guy that I honestly either barely know, like at all, if I even know him, or like maybe I've just seen him and thought he was cute, or it's like someone who I know isn't like anything crazy, but like I haven't like seen them in a long time or whatever, and like I've held on to like little interactions and kind of like created a whole new person in my head and way over romanticize that. And I think I do that a lot, and I've definitely become aware of it, so I try to like, hey, like no, like that's not what happened to myself. But I definitely am victim to that, because it's like so many times I have to remind myself, I'm like, hey, you've actually never had like a full proper conversation with this guy. Like the way you're thinking about him in your brain, about like how nice he is and sweet he must be, like whatever, is not true. And I've noticed I also always do this for guys that are like bad people, or like who, like I remember there's this one guy who I was like, I had like met him, I'm not gonna give details, but but like I had met him in like a class or something, and like the way he was like talking about women and stuff, I was like, ew, oh my God, like I could never like someone like him. And then like we had a class again like later, and then I was like, ugh, fuck him, and I started liking him, and I like hated myself for it, because I told myself, I was like, never like someone like this, please. But it's not like anything happened, so it doesn't really matter. But I think, yeah, like I romanticize for sure, like how if I get proposed to, how amazing that would be, or like if I get asked out or whatever. And I feel like especially right now, like people literally will ask you out on text, or you won't even know if it's like a date, or if you're like in a situationship. Like I feel like a lot of people like don't even literally say like, will you be my girlfriend? You guys are just like I don't know, I think it's just like, not, the dating scene currently isn't really for someone like me, I would say, because and especially I think because like all the rom-coms that I love are set 10-20 years ago, so they didn't have social media and stuff, so like a grand gesture, like doing things in person, was obviously normalized. So, and I just like expect that to be my life, and I feel like that's so much better and more personal, I mean. But I think also this generation too, a lot of people are more scared of getting hurt, so they don't want to fully commit themselves to people, which I think is, you know, something that we need to work on. But that's like my other thing is, for example, like one, I will be so mad if I ever get cheated on, and that's why like I think I'm so not like willing to just date anyone, because I'm like, if you were to ever cheat on me, like I would actually kill you, you know what I mean? Because I also think it's so pathetic. Sorry, might be a hot take, but honestly it shouldn't be. One, I don't think I would ever forgive a guy for cheating on me, because like it doesn't matter if it was a one-time thing or it was a mistake, like you shouldn't have done it in the first place. Like it's not like someone had a gun to your head. I don't know how people like just forgive, because it's like there's literally no reason, like, even if you guys just had a fight, like, I don't know why you would immediately jump into bed with another person. Like, why couldn't you just be mad about it or just break up or whatever? My thing is, if you're not happy, man up and just say you're unhappy. Like, there's no need, then go do whatever you want. But it's like, what, like, why? Like, I guess because they want the best of both worlds. But it's like, you know, literally, like, have the confidence, have the dignity, go and break up with the person and then go do things. It's like, why would you cheat on someone? It, like, actually irritates me. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so weird. It's like, just man up and break up, you know? Like, don't do all that for no reason, especially if you literally don't even remotely have feelings for the other person anymore or ever did. It's like, why are you just, like, forcing yourself and wasting their time? It makes no sense to me. And it's, like, not, like, a mistake, you know what I mean? Because the fact that you did that in the first place means that you didn't have enough respect for the other person to begin with. And it's, like, intentional, you know? You can't call it a mistake. Like, you fully went and did all of that. You know, you could have stopped at any point, but you didn't, you know? And yeah, that might be a hot take, but honestly, I don't think it should be. So let me know if you agree. But anyways, this episode has already gone on for a really long time, so I think I'm going to end it here. Let me know what other topics you would like me to talk about, because I honestly have spoken about a lot of my main ideas and I am totally open to some new things. So yeah, see you next week. Bye.